Well, I was visiting a friend's house last night and we had a question where you could actually make a gravy just from scratch. In this case, it was a vegan one. Same principle goes for a meat one, but let's concentrate on the vegan one. Can you make a vegan gravy from scratch rather than just pouring it out of doing 3 scoopfuls of some powder and adding boiling water? Would it be any good? And I thought that's a good question. Same for meat ones actually with Bisto. Can you do it from scratch easily with just fingers to hand? So I had to think about this. And there's 2 ways of going about it. The first one I think is a roux sauce, where you do your normal roux sauce, but instead of adding milk or whatever for say a white sauce, you use the boiling water with vegetable stock cube. And then to make it brown and give it some more taste and more salt, you use a soy sauce and Worcestershire sauce. So I thought that'd be a good idea. But then that's still lots of bottles and lots of, that's still pre-prepped. Can you do a gravy just using things to hand? We normally got beer to hand. I'll be adding that to that as well. Can you do some just vegetables to give the thickness, some salt, and perhaps some beer to give it the colour, to get the right consistency? That'd be very rustic. That's more consumerism in the 21st century. So I'm going to try both ways. I'm going to do a gravy that way with a roux sauce, adding as much as I want of anything. Then I'll try a very basic one. You have to work out the actual quantities there, so it's the right thickness. I've got my blender, so that's great. Alright, yeah, that's good. Let's do the simple one first. He says, never having done one before from scratch, which should take more of time to do because obviously I have to make the roux sauce. And then let's just try chop up some vegetables and add some salt and beer. Can you make a gravy out of salt and beer and a parsnip and 2 potatoes? Well, we'll see, won't we? It'll have some taste. I'll have fun doing it with those 2. Sweet! Right, let's do that one first. So back in the mo. Right, I've done the roux sauce. It's just started off. That's looking good. Just put my 1 OXO stock cube in some water. So that's going to be a liquid for the roux. We'll see how it goes. Then we'll start adding something to make it more brown to look like gravy. So that's got quite a lot of salt in it, but what you want with a gravy is something salty and whatever. And then we've got our bishop's finger and wine. I might do it 2 ways just to give it a bit of extra pep. Right, so pop that back on there and I'll start mixing it in slowly, obviously. You want the mashed potatoes stage or else it'll go lumpy. Yeah, do it slowly this bit and we're back in it in a mo. As Austin Powers would say, stage 2 complete. Oh, quite a thick roux, looking good there. I haven't tasted it. Maybe a big quick taste. Oh yeah, you do taste that OXO cube. Oh, very good. Right, let's get it some bit brown. Worcestershire sauce. Oh, let's get that in there. Oh, that is potent. And a bit more. Yeah. And some light soy sauce. Oh no, it's dark. I bought the wrong one. Oh, bugger. Anyway. This will definitely make it browner. Not that brown though, obviously. A bit more. Good. Oh, sweet. And then finally, the bishop's finger. We'll just do this bit by bit. I meant I put too much flour in here. Ooh. This is like alchemy. Oh, that's better. It's not very brown though. I need brown food colouring. Right, I'm going to cook that for 20 minutes. Well, that's very good actually. Apart from it doesn't taste like gravy. In fact, it doesn't even taste like any sauce I've ever tried. Pepper sauce, sauce béarnaise, hollandaise sauce. No. It's incredibly. It's unique. It tastes quite good actually. I'll get my wife it in a minute to see what she says. But yeah, it's. I could put some pepper in, but I think actually it's just so unique at the moment. It actually is a gravy, technically. But it's more like good, right? Fantastic consistency. I need to cook the flour out a bit more, but it's going to be brilliant after about 10 minutes. And what I'll do is I'll do the French way. They put a knob of butter in the end, but I'll put a lump of margarine. I've gone from a knob of butter to a lump of margarine, just to make it more glistening. Yeah, that's going to be fantastic. Although I've got nothing to eat it with, still got to do the other one yet with the. At least I didn't have to use a blender for this one. Oh, suits you, sir. Yeah, so we're going to get on to the really rustic one in a minute. But good effort, I think. Mark's out of 10 for me. I think it's a solid 8.5. Okay, my assistant chef says it's got a funny aftertaste. Ooh, don't like it. Run off back to the study, do some work. I know how to sort it out though, just add some sugar. I think the wine that I added, along with the beer, I'm just throwing everything in. Yeah. I mean, it's good consistency though, apart from that lump. Right, let's have some sugar and see if we get on. Oh, he says. Right, well that actually looks like gravy. Good consistency as well. After the last bombshell that it had a bad aftertaste, I've corrected that with various other things such as sugar. I think a bit on rosemary and thyme. So let's see how that goes. And in the meantime, I'm doing a very simple one. Good luck, my friend. You're going to need it. Yeah, that's going to be boiled down to make a mush. And it's going to be liquidised, and just salt and pepper, and a bit of beer, and maybe some sugar, considering that one. Well, we'll see. Anyway, I love experimenting. Alright, I've got rid of all the leftovers, the thyme and the rosemary bits, and there's my gravy. It just looks like gravy, doesn't it? Oh, tastes pretty good as well. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do what the French do and add it would be a knob of butter, but it's going to be a lump of margarine. Go on, jump, you bugger, jump. I used the magic finger, and he pops. Alright, just give it that sort of unctuousness. Ooh, is this the best vegan gravy ever? Is this the only homemade vegan vegan gravy ever? Probably. It's only taken me 2 hours. Throwing everything. I never remember the recipe. I just started chucking things in. Oh. If it looks like gravy, smells like gravy, perhaps tastes like gravy, then it's very gravy. Ooh. That is just... I'm really pleased with the consistency. Of course, when you're watching it, you can't tell if it's good or bad. That's brilliant. Well, we've still got the other one to do. I've got doubts about that whether the little bit of beer will make it brown enough. Yeah. And it's got another 15 minutes to cook. This is the one. This is what a caveman gravy would be. Yeah, just some stuff you cook in the pot, and then add salt and pepper and some bishop's finger, as cavemen were wont to do in the day. Oh, sweet! I'm really pleased with that. Look at that. Oh. I need to get down to Toby Carver and sell this £1 a gallon. The gravy is really good. It's more like a steak sauce actually than a gravy. It looks like gravy. Ooh, yeah. I'm really pleased with the consistency. Not bad because I did it from scratch. With yeah, I could market this. I've got something in the grill just to dip into it. Well, after quite a long time, I'm about to serve up with my vegan gravy. And does it look like gravy or not? It does. I found those in the freezer, so I quickly grilled them up under a really hot grill. It's getting some real crunch. Just to go with my gravy. Ooh. Ooh, you got to do the little blob for the Instagram. Ooh. Hold on. Is it me or does that look like a penis? Right, okay, I better adjust that. Back in a moment. Okay, dokie, after the last one, which had 27 different ingredients, we're doing the simple one. Can you do an Iron Age, the Iron Age version of gravy? What were you doing 900 AD? I don't know. So I've boiled these to a lot, so they're really soft now. The other thing is, I'm only using that for the thickness, so I'll work out how much water I need. I'm adding some Bishop's Finger beer to make it slightly brown and salt and pepper. I think it's all down to the consistency. It won't be that brown, but will it taste okay as a gravy? I've got my doubts, but let's see. But it is how an old Iron Age person would do, or to the Dark Ages. In fact, this might be the Dark Ages ultimate recipe that never came over, thanks to the lack of writing skills outside the monasteries in England. Right, let's mush it all up with a blender and see how we go. Right, after the success of the last gravy that I made, the vegan gravy, which was fantastic. And it didn't taste like a gravy, it tasted like the best sauce you'd ever want with a juicy marbles steak. So there you go, it's very good. And chips, of course, that I do homemade. Now this is a tricky one. I've only got salt, pepper, some beer, as they would have in the Iron Age. Obviously not from Shepherd Neame, but the earlier version, before they got brought out, probably. And some potatoes and a parsnip. Now, right, so that's that's going to make it thick. I've got some leftover water from the tap, and I've got my blender that they also had in the Iron Age, Dark Ages, and the Stone Age, of course. Well, maybe not. Right, let's just add the Bishop's Finger. In for a penny, out for a pound. Out for a penny, in for a pound. Out for... Oh, you know what I mean. Anyway, let's give that a bit of a mush. I can't do it one-handed. I'll have my eyebrows off. And I'll be back in a minute. Actually, let's just put some salt and pepper in first. Oh, I'm not looking for... It's not going to be brown, is it? Oh no, not matron. Well, it's not brown, is it? Let's just get the consistency right first, though. At the moment, it's like primordial gloop, or primeval gloop. I don't know which is the correct expression to use for Iron Age cooking. Oh, let's have a look. Okie dokie, let's have a first taste with salt and pepper, some Bishop's Finger beer, and parsnip and potato. Oh, right consistency. It needs an onion. Why did I put an onion in? We need an onion, and then more salt and pepper, and then we salted, I think. Yeah, that's not right. It's a good answer, but it's not right, as they say in catchphrase. Yeah, that Roy Irish bloke, he'd have fits and giggles over this. Right, so I'm cooking an onion. Now, I think my Stone Age compatriots would have probably boiled it. But then again, they got mammoths, haven't they? They could have caught a mammoth and then cut some of the excess fat off to fry their onions before it goes into the gravy. And even if you didn't, I've used actually olive oil. But then again, if you can't be bothered going up a tree to pick some olives to turn it into olive oil, as an ancient caveman stroke Dark Ages person, well, if you're a fussy eater, as Alan Partridge would say after the potato famine, well, you've only got yourself to blame. So yeah, it's not as simple as I thought this would be. Also, I put some olive oil in there, in my gravy. Yeah, we're going off piste, as they say in the cooking things. Yeah, so what I'll do is I'll cook that up. I'm going to really fry it so it's quite brown, give it some sort of caramelisation, then whisk it up, then put it in my gravy. And that'll be the end of it, because I'm getting bored now. I've been cooking it for this simple gravy. It's taken me 3 hours, one way or another. Anyway, it tastes bloody good. An update. Okay, so that's a really good gravy, as they say. Oh, I'm not keeping up of the onions. But it's actually slightly bitter still. It's not got enough flavour. It's quite bland. So I'm doing my onions, but I'm doing them as slow. I thought originally I would caramelise off and get them really crispy, and that would have a real punch to it, because caramelised onions that are really crunchy have a lot of taste. But I need the sweetness, so I'm doing slow. You can see how slow it is with that hob level, and I put a lid on top just to keep all the moisture in. So we'll do that for 15 minutes, get them really sweet, and then mix them up with that. And that's going to be it, because I'm getting quite bored with all the 6 hours of cooking just for two gravies. Yeah, those poor old buggers in the past didn't have a very good gravy. But then again, they were mainly eating turnips. So, you know, that on a turnip would really spice it up, probably. No wonder the Dutch East Indies Company went down to the east just to get some spices to make things a bit less bland for their gravies. Anyway, that's a historical lesson that you can perhaps Google with AI. Well, I'm halfway through this onion cooking. I still can't make up my mind whether I want them crispy crunchy with the caramelisation to give it a bit of pep, this old-fashioned gravy, or whether I want it sweeter. That's slightly bitter. I could add sugar, but they didn't add sugar in those days. It's all natural. They did have an onion though. So yeah, I'll keep going. I think I might do it half and half. I'll do it for another 8 minutes and then crisp them up at the end, slightly. Oh God, I'm overthinking this, aren't I? Just trying to get it right. It's funny that a really simple thing like some boiled vegetables to make a gravy could be so difficult to try and get it absolutely spot on. I think my bishop's finger might be giving me the finger here, making it too bitter. It is a bitter after all. Maybe I shouldn't use that, just use the normal thing. But I'm trying to get it go brown. And it didn't go brown, of course. When you go brown, you never go back with gravy, as they say. 15 minutes in. Yeah, they're caramelised and they're sweet, hopefully. Let's have a little taste. Ooh. It is very sweet. Caramelised enough? No, let's go for it, because I'm bored. I'm going to put that in there and whisk it up with my whisker. Oh, sweet. Well, there's going to be a lot of cleaning up to go, but finally, very good. Very simplistic, all-worldy vegan gravy. Gravy in the sort of like saucy way. I had to put some onion in there, but our ancient forefathers had onions, so that's okay. And some salt, and they had that as well. And here we go. Unfortunately, I haven't got any potato left because my wife stole them all to dip in the last gravy. So I've got some rich tea biscuits. I'm sure it'll go really well with them. And a little glass of, a sneaky little, cheeky little glass of wine. Ooh, suits you, sir.